Hey, I'm David. All right, this will be the last in the series of Trump family members and how they are feeling post Pennsylvania incident. This case, we will look at Eric. We've looked at Donald Trump, Melania, Ivanka, Don Jr., and now to Eric. How is he feeling? How did the shooting or the incident in Pennsylvania impact him? How is he feeling right now, and how will it impact him going forward? Okay, entertainment purposes only. Come on down. Let's see. Right into it. King of Pentacles. I'm going to look at that as his father, not as the ruler of the free world, but as his father and the head of the business, and things along those lines here. Crossed with the Two of Pentacles, and then the Hanged Man. It's interesting. He might look at it from the perspective of, maybe like kind of like is his father's personality, his persuasion decreasing. Is it worth it? Type of thing. It's juggling values. Not so much health, but it's juggling of things. Is it worth it? No, he's got this. It's interesting. I don't think he's looking at Donald Trump as being a martyr for the cause. I think he's looking at his father in a new light. That, is it worth it? Basically, is it worth it? No, his dad's like this wealthy man in his mind's eye, and he's got all this money coming in. Do you really need to be the president of the United States again? Is it really worth it when you've got all this money and all this stuff? There's ways for Donald Trump to protect himself, and I think his son's wondering if his father should reconsider that. Or maybe Eric's reconsidering it, but there's that. It's like his father and the value. There's a reconsideration here. In other words, if Dad were to flee to Saudi Arabia that doesn't have extradition laws, wouldn't that be way better than being shot at in the United States? That's where I'm going with it. In the past, the Knight of Swords, Eric was probably the first person to his father's side or the first person to call when this happened. It just depends on proximity. But if anybody was going to drop doing what they were doing and race to their father's side, it was going to be him. Much in the same way that Eric was the only one that was like at the court cases, or he was the one the one family member who was at most of the court cases. He's there for his dad. He's there to race to his father's rescue, as it were. Now, it's kind of funny because I'm sure Donald Trump does not feel the need for rescuing, much less from Eric. But Eric's the one that, both he and Junior have an emotional attachment to their dad. And Eric's the one that will race to his father's defense, regardless of how it makes him look. To the point where Eric says stuff that's laughably false, but he's defending his dad, type of thing. Current situation is the Lover's card. If there's like one family member that's reaching out to his dad on a daily basis, it's going to be Eric. His wife is now the co-chair of the RNC, and you've got all that money, and Trump may take his calls because of that. But just like Junior, Eric wants his dad's affection, and he's willing to put himself out there more often to show his affection for his father. It's funny. Oftentimes we get the devil card for Trump, and Eric's trying to show the other path of it. But Trump doesn't recognize the Lover's card. It doesn't serve him. But if somebody's sending flowers or a fruit basket, it's gonna be Eric. Oh God! But I think it might also be perspective too of like who's in Trump's orbit. It's causing Eric to rethink some things here. The overarching energy is the Page of Cups. Um, I think again, much like Junior was impacted emotionally, Eric's impacted emotionally too. Um, it's kind of weird emotions though. Uh, Eric's might be simpler emotions, more basic, like a Page. Like, why would anybody shoot at my father? It's almost like a naivety type of thing. There's a simpleness here that he's not understanding. He has a harder time with these complex emotional things. If this had been some Democrat then or Antifa person, he could process it. But it was a Trump supporter. And he's having a hard time understanding how somebody who supports his father could do something like that to his father. It's requiring a new perspective, which he may or may not have the intellectual or emotional capacity to handle. And again, entertainment purposes only, not trying to trash on the guy, but just trying to make sense of this card. The lesson to be learned is the Seven of Wands. Like Junior, he's going to want his father. He's going to go to bat for his father. He's going to fight on there. He's going to be out there, trashing Joe Biden, trashing the FBI, trashing the Secret Service, trashing Antifa, or whoever is in the way of his father. He will do his father's bidding because he's going to support his father regardless. But he might just be wondering, I don't know why my dad wants to do this, but this is what he expects of me, so I'm going to go out there and do it. He's dutiful. He's almost simple. He's like a simpleton in that regard. The outcome is going to be the Hermit. The first thing that came to mind I saw with this card is like, but he's going to learn something. He's going to find stuff out. He's going to learn his lesson. He's not leading the way forward. He's not retreating. He's not exposing a light on something. This is like a personal lesson for Eric. He's going to learn things. He's like making his own bed, and now he's going to find out what it is. Kind of like, he wasn't understanding here. He's going to find out. He's going to find things out about his father that he never knew, understood, or could comprehend. But in the meantime, he's going to go out and fight for his father. He's going to be visible. He's going to show his dad. He's going to be out in public doing stuff for his dad. Junior will like fan the flames or something like that. But Eric's going to be, he's going to continue to be out there. But I really do think there's some big lessons coming forward for Eric from all of this, because he's too simple, too naive. Again, entertainment purpose only. I don't know Eric Trump in person. Maybe he's this incredibly savvy, insightful person that just doesn't translate well to his media performances or SNL sketches. But there's a reason why they portray him like they do in SNL sketches. Just saying. All right, how will this impact Eric Trump going forward? Yeah, it's too bad in some ways. The Don Jr. and Eric, again, in the hands of a really loving father, could have been really upstanding people. The raw material is there. It's just been corrupted because of the toxic environment they grew up in. How will Eric go? How is this incident going to impact Eric going forward? This card kind of wants to stay up there, so who am I to argue against it? Seven of Coins, evaluations, money values. Just looking at things. It just, again, I get that Then let's do the rest of the cards before I get too far into that. We got Temperance, the Tower. Oh, that's not good. Five of Swords. Oh, this is an interesting mix. You remember in that other reading, it was kind of, you had the King of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. Again, he's going to look at things like, I don't understand why my dad, who's got all this money, I don't see why he wants to do this. It's like, it's like his dad's a target. Got Temperance and the Five of Swords. How's this going to impact him going forward? You know, there's that money values. There's like an evaluation going here, and it's a burden. I think he might try to make heads or tails out of what happened, or he's looking like, how do I bring value to my father's campaign? And he doesn't know how to do it. Things are just getting harder and harder. There's too much going on. He's starting to get overwhelmed, I guess, is what it is. And he needs to take a step back and sort of try and... This evaluation and this card go hand in hand. He has to kind of balance his emotions as to why somebody would do something like this to his father. And he needs to sort of... He's not understanding the big picture. And maybe he's starting to go down that path of the big picture here. I think the shot really kind of rocked his world a little bit. And he's wondering maybe what value he can bring to his dad. But he really needs to step back and think about things. It's crossed with the Five of Swords. Winner takes all. How is he impacted going forward? It really rocked his world. First off, it really rocked his world, and he needs to take a step back and evaluate things, because maybe the world's a bit more ruthless than he thought it was. You know, he normally thinks of the media as being the enemy, and it doesn't occur to him that it could be your own followers that are your worst enemy. It's just, it's something that he struggles with trying to understand. Because he's not like that. But he can't put himself in other people's shoes to understand why they would be like that. It's an interesting mix of coins and cups and swords and wands. I'm not fully sure on this one, but long and short of it, it requires an evaluation. He's not well equipped to do it. He would be better off retreating and focusing on the business and giving his father his support where his father needs it. But he's having a hard time processing this. He can't understand why somebody would want to do this to his dad. But again, it's just because he's kind of simple in that way, and he doesn't understand these complexities. Entertainment purposes only. I don't know that for a fact. I'm trying to interpret these cards. Again, he could be an incredibly sharp person, and that I just don't get it, and he's not portrayed that way in comedy sketches either. So I'm going to take it for what it's worth. I'm going to leave it here. Sorry, a little bit dissatisfying. I'm not quite sure what this spread is telling me, but maybe he's, in the end of the day, he's just really confused too, and he can't focus on any one thing because it's impacting him all at once. Anyways, thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.